Let's bring in Senate Minority Whip John Thune of South Dakota. Senator, welcome.
Good evening, Mike. Good to be with you.
I asked your colleague, Senator Ben Cardin of Maryland, about a key provision of this tax and spending bill on Fox News Sunday. Can you understand how 87,000 new IRS agents would scare the heck out of millions of Americans?
Millions of Americans aren't going to be impacted by that other than getting better service from the IRS. The auditing is going to be focused on those of high income, the large corporations, etc. So there's no reason to be fearful.
Rich people have attorneys and accountants. Aren't those 87,000 IRS agents really a threat to the little guy?
Mike, I think the takeaway from the passage of this bill is there is an IRS agent coming to a neighborhood near you. 87,000 new employees at the IRS. Only 4% of them are going to be, committed to helping improve taxpayer service. Most of them are going to be harassing middle-income taxpayers. There was a study done by the Joint Tax Committee which showed that up to 90% of any revenue the Democrats think they're going to raise from this so-called addition of these IRS tax agents is going to come from people making less than $400,000 a year. So there's going to be a lot of people, middle-income taxpayers in this country, who are going to have to get used to having the IRS looking over their shoulder at every turn. That's what the essence of this is. That's what they signed up for with this bill. 87,000 new IRS agents and $80 billion in new spending, 6 times the annual IRS budget. That's what this bill is all about.
Do you have any hope of this package being derailed in the House of Representatives?
I think it's unlikely. Clearly, we would like to see the House, it's a narrow margin over there, that maybe there are a few wise Democrats who are opposed to having an IRS agent in every neighborhood in America, and opposed to all the other taxes included in there, including taxes on energy and all the money that's going to be spent on crazy stuff like tree canopies. People in this country may not be able to pay their rent, but they're going to have some really nice tree canopies thanks to the billions that are going to be spent on what they call environmental justice in this bill. There is a ton of spending in here, Mike. Of course, a lot of new tax increases, and all that is going to spell for the American people is more economic pain, because it doesn't do anything, as has been pointed out, to address the issue that most Americans care the most about, and that is inflation. The fact that it's costing them $7,000 a year more this year for the same basic things that they had to buy last year. That's what it's costing the average American, and it's just going to continue to go up, and nothing in this bill is going to address that.
You had the only Republican amendment that passed during that all-night vote-a-rama. Senate Democratic leadership was trying to hold Democrats together to get them to vote no on all the amendments. You had 7 vote yes with you, including some on the ballot in November. Is that a win?
Well, it's a short-term win. We were able to take a $35 billion tax hike on small and medium-sized businesses out of the bill. And it was nice to get 7 Democrats voting for it, but as you point out, these are all Democrats who are up for re-election here in just a few months, and they're scared. I think they're scared to have to go back to their voters and tell them that, we raised taxes. We had this massive new tax increase on small and medium-sized businesses in this country, and at a time when most of those taxes obviously are going to be passed on to the same people in this country who are already experiencing 40-year high inflation. People in this country can't afford energy, utility prices, gasoline, food. Everything in their daily lives is being affected by inflation and the cost of everything in our economy. This bill does nothing to address that. All it does is raise $326 billion, hundreds of billions of dollars in taxes on small and medium-sized businesses in this country, and on energy. A lot of energy taxes in this too, all of which are going to be passed on to consumers and only make worse the inflationary crisis that American families are already feeling.
Senate Republican Whip John Thune of South Dakota, thanks so much for your time, sir.
Good to be with you. Thanks, Mike.